Hello, fellow members of the Mix 3. Today I'm going to be reacting to WatchMojo's top 20 TV performances of the century so far. Let's go through it and see if we disagree. I disagree. If you disagree, comment down below. Do you agree with what they have to say? I'm going to see how I feel about their list, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll talk through it as well. Let's check this out. I'm a huge fan of WatchMojo and their lists, even if I disagree with them.
Television has never been better in terms of writing, directing, and above all else, acting. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 TV performances of the century so far. For this list, we'll be looking at the best performances
and definitely probably going to be divisive.
In the 21st century.
They know
we'll be
that.
including shows that premiered in the late 90s, but had a majority of their run in the current century.
Interesting.
There's
so much TV to choose from. I mean, this is a daunting task to say.
Number 20, Regina King, Watchmen. Throughout the century, Regina King has evolved from one of our best character actresses to one of our best actresses, period. She takes center stage in this continuation of the iconic comic series as Angela Abar, also known as Sister Knight, a cop forced to conceal her identity behind a mask.
Is it too early to say that?
The lines between detective and superhero,
too early to say that she deserves to be in this list?
And the mysterious nature of Batman.
I mean, it only had one season so far. Or it only will have one season, right? I guess that's true.
That was before police officers
I don't know.
were allowed to wear masks, so the bad guys,
I guess
they knew who I was.
I'm okay with it being on the list, her being on the list. She is a great actress, so.
Angela tries to keep her work separate from her family life, but once those two worlds collide, Angela doesn't hesitate to make the necessary choice, as much as it breaks her heart. King always brings out the character's humanity, complexity, and raw heroism.
Yeah.
Number 19, Rachel Brosnahan, the marvelous
yeah,
Mrs.
I mean,
Maisel.
she is fantastic.
It takes a master performer to make Amy Sherman Palladino's rapid-fire dialogue roll off the tongue with ease.
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan truly inhabits the role of Miriam Midge Maisel, a 50s housewife who stumbles into her true calling by accident.
Honestly, I would have been even okay if she was closer to the top 5. But we'll see what else they got. So, like I said, from 90s to now, it's really tough. There's so many great TV
with a witty
shows.
remark always ready
So
to
much
go,
great
whether she's on stage
so.
or not. The
But
world is Midge's audience, and Brosnahan beams with confidence in the role. Her life isn't all laughs, as Midge must deal with divorce, sexism, and folks who just don't get the joke. Whenever life presents her with a challenge, Mrs. Maisel finds a way to channel her frustration into humor. By the end of the pilot, it's as if we've just witnessed a star being born.
Yeah. He loves it.
Number 18, Terry O'Quinn, Lost. In a show full of enigmatic characters, few proved as intriguing as John Locke, played by the invaluable Terry O'Quinn. Compared to his fellow plane crash survivors, Locke at first seems like he has it all figured out. As we dig deeper into his past, present, and future, however, it becomes clear that he's just as lost as everyone else.
I see what you did there.
So why did you do this? Why?
Desperate to find his purpose in life, Locke puts himself and others in danger. As reckless as his decisions are, we're still drawn to the tragic Locke, just as he's drawn to the island. Dating back to his breakout work in the Stepfather movies, O'Quinn has always been great at playing men of many faces, and nowhere is this more evident than with John Locke.
Hey, don't you walk away from me. You don't know who you're dealing with. Don't ever tell me what I can't do, ever!
Number 17, Neil Patrick Harris, How I Met Your Mother.
Are these yours?
I'm suit-sitting for someone?
Not every former child
I would
star
say that he's kind of being a character between himself and his character in Harold and Kumar.
Seasons is Neil Patrick Harris essentially wonderfully hijacking the show as womanizer Barney. This wild card
I do like him in the he made the show for me.
Next
to Jason
leaving the
Segel.
audience guessing what he would do next. Whenever he donned one of Barney's suits, Harris became a comedic force of nature who could not be tamed. That said, Harris also shined in Barney's rare moments of vulnerability, especially while confronting his daddy issues. It was Barney's hijinks that kept us coming back, though, and Harris turned this party animal into something truly legend. Wait for it.
When you said you were going to pick someone up at the airport, you meant you were going to pick someone up at the airport?
Scenario. Couple of girls fly into town looking for a fun weekend in NYC when they meet two handsome international businessmen just back from a lucrative trip to Japan.
Number 16, Jharrel Jerome, When They See Us. This Netflix miniseries is full of exceptional performances, although Jharrel
I haven't
Jerome
seen this
stands
show. I
out
gotta
like
check it
no
out.
other. Where the other members of the Central Park Five are played by 2 actors each, Jerome was presented with the challenge of portraying Corey Wise both as a teenager and a grown man.
Oh
Don't
wow.
you want to go home? That's all I want. That's all
Another
I want.
recent show though. It's
He goes
interesting.
through such a shocking transformation as Corey that it's almost like watching 2 different
Could this be
individuals.
recency bias?
Jerome captures all
I don't
of
know,
Corey's
but
fear
I've
and
not seen
anger
it.
as he's wrongfully
It
accused
looks
of
like
a heinous
he
crime.
gives a great
It's the
performance.
final episode where Jerome really shines as we see the years of imprisonment, beatings, and isolation take their toll on Corey. As heartbreaking as Jerome's performance is, he also conveys the unbreakable spirit that helped Corey survive this horrific ordeal.
This is my first experience. This will be my last.
Number 15, Claire Danes, Homeland. Claire Danes is among the finest actresses of her
loves
generation,
Homeland.
and Carrie Matheson has been the role of a
I know my
lifetime.
mom does
More often
love
than
that
not,
show.
this
show.
CIA officer is the smartest person in the room,
I never
seeing
got
things
into it,
that
but
others cannot.
I know
Due to her
and I know
bipolar
it has a lot
disorder
of
and
fans.
reputation
So
for not playing by the rules, Carrie is repeatedly undermined by her superiors. She'll get the job done, however, even if it comes at a steep personal cost. Carrie struggles to function when she isn't working, although her job is beyond emotionally draining. It's a double-edged sword, but Dane strikes a difficult balance as a workaholic who's frequently on the verge of a breakdown, yet still somehow in control. It's no wonder why this passionate performance won her back-to-back.
Oh no!
We hear a lot about cursed films around horror productions.
Emmys. Number 14, Ian McShane, Deadwood.
Ian
When we
McShane's
first
great in
met Al
everything.
Swearingen, he's a
Even in
ruthless,
that terrible
manipulative
Hellboy
son of a
movie.
gun at the root of Deadwood's depravity. Although we love to hate Al, we also hate to love
This
him,
is another
which
show
can
I
be
haven't
largely
watched.
attributed to Ian McShane's charismatic performance.
I gotta get into
Anyways,
I gotta
thank
watch
God I
this
don't
show.
have to rely on you to formulate my plan of action.
It'll probably be on HBO
McShane
Max
won a
streaming
Golden
service, so I'll
Globe
check it out
playing
then.
Al with the hot-headed temper of a foul-mouthed
I
Yosemite
get this
Sam,
streaming service.
putting the swear in Swearingen. At the same time, Al is an intelligent businessman who can be charming and eloquent. Throughout 3 seasons and a later movie, we see McShane evolve Al from antagonist to anti-hero. His methods are rarely ethical, but Al is among the few leaders who can maintain order in a lawless town.
Oh, well done. Proud performance.
Number 13, Benedict
Oh, yeah.
Cumberbatch,
He's-
Sherlock.
The name Sherlock
He
Holmes
is
direct
so
is too
good
long
as
to
Sherlock.
be
Like honestly, like I never
Sherlock
thought
Holmes
I
is one of
love
the most
Robert Downey Jr.
recognizable
as
figures
Sherlock,
in
and I've liked the
literature.
previous
And while the
iterations,
character
but
had been brought to
he
the screen numerous
is
times
the
before, there hadn't
definition
really
of
been a
Sherlock Holmes.
definitive portrayal. After
No
seeing
one's gonna
Benedict
replace him on
Cumberbatch
this
as
one, like,
Sherlock, though, it's hard to accept
there's no,
anyone
like,
else in the role.
being as good
Cumberbatch
as he is
embodies
at this
everything
role.
we associate with Arthur Conan Doyle's creation: a cocky demeanor, a witty vocabulary, and a sense of deduction that's borderline
He's
supernatural.
so good.
Didn't see Doyle.
Not much use. Doesn't lead us to the kidnapper.
Brilliant, Anderson. Really? Yes, brilliant impression of an idiot.
What's more, Cumberbatch creates a Sherlock who could feasibly exist in today's world, with his appreciation of technology and his incredible focus. We know Sherlock is an intellectual, but Cumberbatch plays him with the conviction of a daredevil who will crack the case even if it kills him. Number 12, Sarah Paulson, American Crime Story. Marcia Clark is no stranger to scrutiny. Watching Sarah Paulson's performance in The People vs. O.J. Simpson, the self-contained first season of this true crime anthology series, your perception of the prosecutor will be forever changed.
Jesus, Gordon. This is our private life.
Paulson depicts Clark as a hard-working prosecutor who goes into this infamous case with nothing but confidence. Yet she
Another show I haven't
underestimates the
seen.
American people, the press, and Simpson's defense team.
I gotta get back in.
Is also extraordinary as Johnny
For a while,
Cochran, whose
I was
slick
really
charisma
not
played a
watching a
key
lot of
role in
TV.
the
I was
trial's
watching a lot more
verdict.
movies.
Clark lacked Cochran's
I gotta get back into
showmanship,
TV
but
and start
behind
watching all
closed
these
doors,
shows I've
she
been
was
missing.
smarter and more
I'm
determined
gonna
than
watch
many
this
gave
again and
her
take some
credit.
notes.
While Clark lost the case, this performance won Paulson a deserved Emmy.
Is that one person who matches all that DNA in this courtroom today?
Yes, he is.
Could you please point him out for the jury? Let the record show that Mr. Fung is pointing to the defendant, Mr. Orenthal James Simpson.
Number 11, Rami Malek, Mr. Robot.
He is
After
great.
years of impressing audiences
I
in
love Rami
supporting
Malek.
roles,
He's such
Rami
a
Malek
good actor.
established himself as lead material in this breakout role.
Whoever's in control of the exit nodes is also in control of the traffic, which makes me the one in control.
If you passed the hunched-over, hoodie-wearing Elliot Alderson on the street, you likely wouldn't notice him. If you could take a peek inside his head, though, you'd find a mind unlike any other. Elliot operates like a machine, processing information at hyperspeed. Just as all machines have users, however, Elliot finds that he's not quite entirely in control of his actions.
Powerless. He'll try to wear us down, but as long as we stick to the regimen, he can't take control.
I even loved him in the horror video game
Malek
Untitled
gives us
Chapter.
a layered performance as a social
And of course,
introvert
Bohemian
who's
Rhapsody.
subdued externally and on the go
The show got him that role,
Elliot is
or
constantly
got him
at
a lot
war
more
with
roles.
himself in a battle of brain versus body and technology versus humanity. Malek brings out the man in the machine and vice versa. Number 10, Bill Hader, Barry. On the surface, Bill Hader may seem like an unlikely choice
I
to
love
play a
Barry.
hitman,
Such
but
a
that's
great
exactly
show.
why Barry Berkman is such a perfect role for him. A
I
former
agree with this
Marine
one.
suffering from
For
PTSD,
sure.
Barry wishes to leave his life as an assassin
Bill
behind and
Hader's
escape into the world of
like,
acting.
You know how
What's
you
great
and I
about the
talk
show
all
is
about my purpose?
it shows, yes, he's good at comedy,
Yeah,
but
he
he
could
is
be
so
purpose.
good at drama, too. And he's just overall excellent
I just
actor.
feel really motivated right now.
Although Barry comes off as
And he's
inexperienced
definitely one of
compared
the
to his fellow actors
actors
he's
who came
actually
from
living
SNL
out his
who
greatest
isn't
role. At
typecasted
acting
into
class,
comedies.
he's mild-mannered Barry Block.
It's helped him out.
Behind the scenes,
His
Barry
career
Berkman
is
has more blood on
way
his
better
hands
than
than
a lot of
Shakespeare
other people
villain.
who came
the
out of
question
SNL.
is, who's the real Barry and who's the character he's pretending to be? Hader masterfully traverses Barry's double life,
Especially
juggling
recently.
tragedy and comedy as they go hand in hand.
Bravo! I just saw you go to a place tonight I have never seen before.
I got to meet him.
But it was amazing.
I got to meet him.
Number 9, Carrie Coon, The Leftovers.
Yeah.
The Leftovers might be the biggest oversight in Emmy history, and at the forefront of this snub is Carrie Coon. Although Nora Durst basically begins as a supporting player, it isn't long until she becomes the show's core.
What is ambiguous about your family being gone? Well, and you must know because you lost, what, 4?
Yeah, Henry Winkler. I got to meet Henry Winkler at Comic-Con. It was awesome. He was super nice.
You sit there and tell me a story about your daughter. I lost everyone.
I've never seen the show.
Coon is heartbreaking as a woman who loses her husband and
okay,
children
comment
in
on
an
it.
unexplained global event that saw 2% of
But
the
I love
population vanish.
Barry.
While Nora puts up a tough front with a cynical sense of humor, she's crumbling to pieces inside.
I did not lose them. My kids are not dead. They are gone. They are just gone.
Few shows have been more profound in their depiction of grief, and Nora is the most fascinating example. Like everyone else, Nora searches for answers, but only finds more questions. Coon's performance is an emotional roller coaster, full of denial, anger, and eventually
Oh, come on. Get out of here, commercial. Nobody wants you.
closure. Number 8, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Veep. Julia Louis-Dreyfus has been a champion of comedy for decades,
Hilarious
and
show.
Selena Meyer might be her most acclaimed role.
Yep.
Behind Selena's phony
She's
smile
so
is
good
an
in it.
ego-driven politician who will break any promise and throw anybody under the bus to fulfill her career
I
aspirations.
agree with this one for sure.
Although she's deceitful in front of the cameras, Selena is an honest portrayal of politics at their worst.
It's not a dress rehearsal. It's not a drill.
God, they're so funny. Such a funny show.
Now? Yet Louis-Dreyfus makes Selena unusually lovable to the point that we want to see her succeed. Along
Yeah.
the way, Louis-Dreyfus dishes out some of the funniest insults ever, making Washington seem more like a locker room. While it's debatable if Selena truly broke the glass ceiling, Louis-Dreyfus broke all kinds of records with her 6 consecutive Emmy wins for the role.
So,
Yep.
I have just brokered a peace
Well, she
deal
deserved it.
with Israel.
100% deserved it.
I, as president of the
I love
United
this show.
States, have
It's so
actually
good.
achieved something
So
which is
funny.
virtually unheard of.
Same
Number
with
7,
her with Tony
Steve
Hale.
Carell,
Oh,
The
man,
Office.
so good.
We're not sure how someone as incompetent as Michael Scott held down a regional manager
Well, Steve
position for so
Carell
long, but
is
Steve
a
Carell
top
deserves a mug
actor.
that says "World's Funniest Boss." One of the characters that put Carell on the map.
Steve Carell is not just great in this show, he's great in everything he does, so of course he's going to be on this
Michael
list.
treats the office like his personal playground and his coworkers like playmates.
That's what she said.
As obnoxious as Michael
What
can
she
be,
said.
it's impossible not to adore him for 2 reasons. 1, all he really wants is a loving support system.
That's
as
what
making
she
his
said.
employees his surrogate family. 2, Carell is just so endearing in the role, even when Michael is at his most insensitive. While the writers made Michael more likable each season, Carell arguably played the greatest part in making Michael someone we can empathize with.
I'm Prison Mike. You know why they call me Prison Mike?
Do you really expect us to believe you're somebody else?
Do you really expect me to not push you up against the wall?
That's funny.
Number 6, Tatiana Maslany, Orphan Black. Centering on a group of clones,
the battery
this
is low.
sci-fi series could have easily come off as too gimmicky with the wrong leading actress.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
I never wanted any part of
Hello?
this.
Hello? Hello?
You kick me so
So audio going?
The casting director won the lottery with Tatiana Maslany, however. Orphan Black has been the ultimate showcase for this Canadian actress, who goes beyond putting on different accents and wearing a variety of wigs. From street-smart protagonist Sarah, to tightly wound soccer mom Allison, to the mentally unstable Helena, we never see one actress playing a variety of characters. We see several distinct individuals who happen to share an uncanny resemblance. You'd better believe that there was an uproar amongst critics and fans when Maslany went overlooked at the Emmys. Thankfully, the Television Academy caught up with Maslany by season 4.
I don't know. I don't have anything to say about it.
Number 5, Jon Hamm, Mad Men.
I'm living like there's no tomorrow.
This is one of his most,
Back at the 60s,
I would agree with this because it really set like his career. Like if he was gonna be remembered for anything, it's gonna be this show.
Much better at hiding their true selves back in the
Absolutely.
day. Jon Hamm is confident and mysterious as this ad man who spends his days pitching consumers the American dream, even though he's not entirely sure what that dream is. Don searches for its meaning by making money, starting a family, and having numerous affairs, yet can never seem to find inner peace. Don is his own toughest customer, but Hamm's performance had us sold from the first episode. Even when Don was at his most understated, Hamm said so much with so few words. Number 4, Elizabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale. If one Mad Men cast member could give
I never
Jon
saw
Hamm
this
a
show, but I
reference
loved her
name, it's Elizabeth Moss as
Invisible
Peggy
Man,
Olson.
so
Moss would later outdo herself
I'll have to
in
check it out
Handmaid's
sometime.
Tale,
I
being
do
a
have
woman
Hulu
stripped
now,
of her freedom
so
and
I'll be able to check it
but
out.
not her spirit.
I didn't have Hulu at the time, but I know it was huge because at my school, at my college that I went to before I graduated, we had a statue and people actually dressed the statue up like from Handmaid's Tale.
June must tread lightly, or else risk losing
So
her
there was a
life.
lot of people in my
June
college that
refuses to give up the
really
fight,
liked
though,
this show.
persevering through one unspeakable ordeal after another on the road to salvation. Alfred may blend into the crowd, but Moss's daring performance makes June shine like a beacon of rebellion.
They just take everything from you, you know? They really do.
Number 3, Peter
Oh,
Dinklage,
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
I love him in this. I'm agreeing with this list for everybody I've seen. I mean, I definitely agree deserve to be on this list. Every show that I've seen, every actor I've seen their performance. I mean, I've agreed.
Fall on your knees in front of them and tell them how very sorry you are.
Lena Headey managed to make audiences simultaneously loathe and sympathize with Cersei Lannister. The character we identified with the most throughout this fantasy series, however, would have to be Tyrion Lannister. Brilliantly played by Peter Dinklage, Tyrion is viewed as his family's black sheep due to his size and drinking habits. In the Game of Thrones, though, it's the most underestimated players who usually come out on top. While he will never sit on the Iron Throne, Tyrion demonstrates all the traits of a natural leader.
He
Political
deserved
intellect,
to be
a
on
strong
the
sense of
Iron
honor, and the
Throne.
courage to say things others wouldn't dare. Even when the show was at its most divisive, everyone could agree that Dinklage was consistently excellent, winning 4 Emmys for his scene-stealing work.
There's a brave man knocking at our door.
He 100% deserved to be on the Iron Throne. Let's be real. Donate people to UNICEF. Stupid commercial.
Number 2, James Gandolfini, The Sopranos. While
Rest
we
in
have
peace.
seen other character studies about crime bosses, Tony Soprano made us look at mobsters in a whole new light. James Gandolfini brought a modern mentality to the genre, fleshing out the boss criminal archetype in ways that had never quite been done before. Tony walks the tightrope between mob life and family life, burying his enemies while still making it home for dinner. As powerful and thuggish as Tony comes off, everything he's worked for could be gone in a second, and he wakes up every day knowing it might be his last.
You and the furniture and the clothes and the cars, you would have spent everything I made, if I let you.
Tony never felt like just another gangster. He seemed like a real human being who could actually exist, and that's mainly thanks to Gandolfini's grounded portrayal.
It's business. Soldiers. We follow codes. Orders.
Before we unveil our most iconic television performance of the century
Let's
so
check out
far,
these honorable
here are a few
mentions.
honorable mentions. Amy Poehler, Parks and Recreation.
Well, I'm organizing this huge harvest
I mean,
festival,
she is great,
and
but
I
I would
need at
be,
least
I would
80
put Chris
local
Pratt
businesses to participate.
from Parks and Rec
Normally, this is the kind of thing I would love to do, but
myself.
I'm just feeling
But she
really
is great.
tired.
All of them are
Maybe
great.
my allergies are acting up.
Cameron Britton, Mindhunter.
So I shut her up for good. And now everyone knows it was because of what she did to me, because of the way she treated her
Oh,
son.
boy.
Michael K. Williams, The Wire.
Mm. I've never seen the show, but I heard it was great.
The police?
Man, don't be a favor.
Titus Burgess, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I've got a title, a beat, and an attitude. As long as it rhymes, everything will be fine.
Mariska Hargitay, Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Will you help
Mariska Hargitay.
We will, sweetheart. We're gonna be there soon.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to
Subscribe to
our
WatchMojo,
channel
people.
and ring the bell to get notified about our
And if you haven't, subscribe to us
You
too.
have the option to be notified for
Subscribe to
occasional videos
everybody.
or all of them. If you're on
Help
your
support
phone,
people
make
during
sure
this
you go into
time.
your settings and switch on notifications.
Yeah, do that on ours as well.
Number 1,
Mm.
Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I saw this one coming.
From
Yep,
Aaron Paul's
I saw this
gut-wrenching
one
performance
coming.
as Jesse Pinkman to Giancarlo Esposito's haunting work as Gus Fring, a good portion of this list easily could have been populated by Breaking Bad actors.
Yup.
If we single out the show's best performance, as well as the best of the century thus far, it's undoubtedly Bryan Cranston as Walter White. Just
So
as
good.
Walt goes from
And
friendly
like,
man to
remember,
Kingpin,
he came from
Cranston
Malcolm in the
evolved from
Middle
his sitcom roots to reveal the
to
dramatic
this.
powerhouse that was always
This
within
proved
him.
him.
Television's
Proved
ultimate
that
antihero,
he's
Walt is desperate
not just
yet
a good
manipulative,
comedy actor,
loving
but an
yet
exceptional
selfish, and
actor.
cold-hearted yet capable of
And has gotten him
redemption.
so many more
Cranston
roles, which is
never missed
great.
a beat, taking home a slew of industry trophies, Emmys, Golden Globes, SAG Awards.
My grandfather loved the show.
Opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me.
This was his favorite show. He would call it Bad Bad.
One who knocks.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out
Yeah.
this other.
You know, for all the shows I've seen that they were on this list, I agreed with them for sure. I don't know, like I haven't seen all of them, so I can't really speak to the ones I haven't seen. But all the ones that I had seen, I agreed that they should have been on this list, and that they were all great and fantastic performances. Tell me in the comments below what you guys thought about this list. Tell me if you agree, disagree. Which ones did you agree with? Which ones did you disagree with? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Peace.